Welcome to Kafka tutorial. In this tutorial, I want to explain some basics of Kafka. After watching this video, you will be able to understand and familiar with basics of Kafka. So let's have a basic overview of Kafka. Kafka is actually a streaming platform which is used for real-time processing and messaging system. Kafka is used for event-driven development, which is also called publish-subscribe model. Simply, you can say PubSub model, and nowadays Kafka is mostly used in the microservices architecture for the async communication. Kafka is actually very fast. You can process billions of records in a second. And the horizontal scalability is also available inside Kafka. You may add any number of brokers or nodes to Kafka cluster. Once a message is written to a Kafka topic, the default policy is 7 days. It means the message is durable for 7 days, and you can increase decrease this time based on configuration. Kafka is actually a distributed system. You may add any number of nodes to Kafka cluster depending upon your needs and requirements. Let's have a brief overview of Kafka components. What is producer and what is consumer? The one who publish a message to a Kafka topic is called a producer, and the one who listen to that message is consumer. In the upcoming video, I am going to explain the major components of Kafka like topic, partitions, replica, Kafka cluster. Actually, a Kafka cluster is referred to a group of one or more Kafka brokers. What is Kafka broker? Actually, when you install Kafka or Confluent Kafka at your system is considered as a broker. Okay, so similarly, if you want to install Kafka on different machine like machine 1, machine 2, machine 3, all these machines you can add to a Kafka cluster, and this brings like resilience and fault tolerance. If one broker is down at a time, so the your system will be not affected and it will run smoothly. So how these brokers are synced? This is the responsibility of Zookeeper. Zookeeper is actually used for the orchestration and management of Kafka cluster and brokers. The responsibility of zookeeper is to elect a leader node. Okay, so the producer will publish message to the leader node, and the consumer will write from the leader node. All other servers will be considered as idle, and this will be synced using the internal process of Zookeeper. Topic is the most important concept of Kafka. Everything you write or publish is sent into Kafka topic, where it is retained for default 7 days, and the consumer can listen from that topic. Once the consumer successfully read a message from the Kafka topic, the default retention policy is 7 days, meaning the message will be there for 7 days. And what if there is no consumer available? Does the message will be deleted after 7 days or not? So the answer is no. If your message is couldn't be read by your listener, so it will be retained there forever unless the consumer is available and can read it. There is another concept of partitions inside Kafka. So the topic is divided into partition. The basic intent of partition is to actually bring parallel processing, that the multiple consumer can read and write from the same topic. The basic intent of partition is to bring parallel processing. Like if you write a message into a Kafka topic, there is there is configuration whether you want to specify the partition number or not. If you don't specify the partition number, so it's calculated based on your key and the number of partition. Also, if you don't specify the key in your message once you are sending, so the partition is round robin fashion is applied, and it is like the based on round robin fashion algorithm, the partition number is decided. Okay, in this example, if you see, I have a topic which have 4 partition and a consumer group which have 5 consumers. So there is always one-to-one mapping of partition and consumer inside the same consumer group. In other words, I can say that one consumer can read from one partition at a time. Okay, so if you see the number of partition is 4 and the number of consumer is 5. So the fifth consumer is idle in that case because it cannot read from the same partition. There is important concept of partition offset. Usually, partition offset is a unique ID which is assigned to a message inside a partition. Once you write a message into a partition, the Kafka assign a unique ID into it, and it's like written there. Once your consumer listens successfully the message, so it commit offset and the index is decremented by 1. Like think about an example, like my message is put at the partition 0 offset 8. Okay, so once my consumer successfully read the message from the offset 8, it will be decremented by 1. It will now the index will be at 7. Again, if you read another message from the 7, so it will be decremented into 6. If my publisher again write a message to a partition 0, so it will be incremented by 1 and the message will be written at the end like at position 6. So this is the basic concept of partitions offset. The basic intent of partition offset is actually to track or to point your messages inside a partition. There is another concept of replicas. Okay, so the basic intent of replica is actually a backup, actually to prevent your data loss. In Kafka, one replica is designated as the reader and other are followers. And this is the whole responsibility of zookeeper. Actually, zookeeper is responsible to elect a reader inside a partition. And the what is the reader partition? The reader partition is actually your publisher will send the message into the reader partition, and your consumer will be listening into the reader partition. All other partition will be just replicas. If any leader is down, the zookeeper will designate or elect another leader so that your application behavior is not interrupted. Again, the number of partitions is configurable, and in Spring Boot you can, like, if you are creating the topic, you can mention that this topic will have three replica set or whatever you can specify inside your coding. Actually, consumer group, as I explained earlier, that consumer group, the basic intent of consumer group is to just read your messages in the parallel way from the partitions. It is actually a logical grouping, you can say, of the consumers. The basic intent of consumer group is to bring actually parallel processing. A message published to a topic is consumed by only one consumer within a consumer group. Now I'm coming toward the Kafka versus Confluent. Kafka is actually an open source distributed streaming platform, while Confluent Kafka is a commercial release of the Apache Kafka. Confluent has actually have more features, additional enterprise feature like multi-data center replication, monitoring, schema management, and security enhancement. While simple Kafka don't provide you the monitoring and schema management, etc. If you want to learn more about Kafka, you can follow the official Apache documentation. If you have any question, you can write in the comment section so that I can update you accordingly. Thank you.